what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Cinema Center at MARBL at TIFF 2023. I'm so excited to talk Fingernails. Christos, congratulations on your new movie. I'm fascinated by this concept.
Thank you so much.
So because a lot of our viewers are first going to be learning about Fingernails from the festival, would you mind giving them a brief synopsis of what your movie is about?
Yes, it's a movie about, we have created a new world in a way in this movie that there is a test that has been discovered that can give an answer to a couple if they are in love or not. And a lot of couples did the test and they failed, and there is a love crisis in the world, but in a comedic way, not like how it's...
I mean this as a compliment. I feel like no description is going to give anyone a real sense of the amount of layers and the atmosphere that you are able to bring to screen in this movie. I can't wait to dig into some of that. But first, I wanted to go back to your experience working as an AD, as an assistant director, because you did that for a number of pretty exceptional filmmakers. So it was making me wonder, is there any director that you AD'd for that you find influencing your own approach to your work directing your feature films?
You are always taking something from movies, even if the movies are good or bad. So from the bad ones, you are trying to avoid to do the same things. And from the good ones, of course, you are learning something. But yes, it was a great experience to work in movies. It was my school. I never studied cinema. So it was my school in a way about how to behave on set and about how to work with people, how to take the most from everybody on the crew. And yes.
With that in mind, just to build on that, when you were first starting in this industry, is there any member of the crew that you gained a lot from that you thought you wouldn't? A particular position that you thought you would never really collaborate with, but they wound up being really influential in terms of the filmmaker you've become?
I don't know. I think that also the guys that are making the coffee are very important on set, believe me.
It's very true. It's very true. I can't function without it. Going from first feature to second feature now, two-parter on that. Can you maybe give our audience one misconception about what it can mean to go from a very successful first feature to getting your second feature off the ground, but then also specify something about Apple's success that helped you make Fingernails and make it the way you wanted?
I think that we were very lucky because Apple's was a really low-budget film. It was a film that we made it with $250,000. And right now we're making a movie with, 40 times more. And for sure, this is a big difference. But at the same time, I think it's exactly the same. I mean, we're just making a film, and it's exciting that I can work with these really amazing actors. I can create... The only difference I could say is that when you are making a film in Greece and when you are making a film with a lower budget is about how, for example, you have some limits on how you can dream, but on Fingernails, there were no limits. So we're just dreaming and doing things.
Can you give me an example of something you accomplish on Fingernails that the version of you making apples would look at and go like, my God, I can't believe I'd be able to do that one day?
We did a scene on a parachute scene that there is also a little bit on apples. I mean, they describe it at one point, but we were trying to do it, but we didn't have the budget, of course, to do it. And right now, Fingernails, of course, we did it.
I want to pick up where you left off about your cast. But first, I do have to reference Cate Blanchett because she was an EP on Apples and now she is a producer on this, which I have to imagine is very helpful with getting a movie off the ground. But what is something about her as a producer that you found very helpful just in terms of her being a creative partner, where her way of producing helped bring the best out of you as a filmmaker?
I think that Cate, even if she hasn't done it before, I mean, she was never a producer before and she just started with her company, Dirty Films. I think that what is very fascinating about her is that she has an amazing instinct. Even if sometimes she will not tell you exactly a very small detail that you want to know and can help you but her instinct is, it's something... you cannot actually have in your life. I mean, I think that she was born with that. I think that's...
Oh, I believe that.
Yes.
I would definitely believe that. I love talking about the evolution of a story idea from draft one to finished film. So can you pinpoint maybe the biggest difference between how you first envisioned this film turning out and then the final film that everyone's going to get to see?
I think that we're close. I think that we're very close. But always, I mean, the thing that I'm always trying to capture is a tone in a film. And for me, I always call this tone in both films melancholic smile tone. So I'm always trying to find how I can create this tone. And always, I mean, on the first draft and when we were trying to write the script, it was much more comedic. And then we were trying to find the balance between comedy and drama in order to create this tone. So that's the difference between, if I can say, from the first draft to the final film.
Very, very good balance right there. I want to bring in the visuals to figuring out the tone and the atmosphere too, because I feel like some people, when they hear about a facility like that, like especially like a medical-ish facility, they might picture, you know, something more sterile with more blues, but you have like more oranges and yellows and like a real warmth to it. So can you tell us a little bit about figuring out the right color palette to enhance that tone?
Yes, I always believe that we have to make something warm. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's very easy to, when you are making a conceptual story, to go in something more futuristic, more distant, more cold. But I believe that in order to make the audience also be more connected with the story, you have to create something that is much more grounded, much more real, much more something that you are seeing around of you, and much warmer.
To get into some story specifics now, when you were developing the idea, did you immediately start with the fingernail being the way to figure out someone's, if someone is in love, or did you ever consider another body part?
We were considering another body part. I mean, at the beginning, we were trying to find something that you are taking apart from the heart or something. So, I mean, in general, we had the idea, we have created the whole world, and then we were just trying to find what it will be that test. And somehow, because fingernails, I think that our fingers are the extensions of our cell phones are the extensions of our fingers. And somehow right now, love goes through cell phones and love goes through technology. I mean, we're looking for answers on our cell phones about finding love and connection. I think that that's why we wanted to find something that is a part of our hands. And then we found this scientific fact that says that the first signs when you have problem with your heart are white spots on your fingernails. Don't worry, you don't have. And we transfer it in a romantic way for the movie.
The idea of doing the heart is making me picture like the Cronenberg version of this movie. That's fascinating me. Do you think that anybody in this world actually chooses any other fingernail but the pinky?
No, I think that everybody will give the pinky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that we didn't shoot anybody. Even something that we cut, I mean, on the editing, removed on the editing that removed the thumb, for example. I don't know. Nobody will remove the thumb.
The only reason why I thought maybe someone would choose the thumb is like if they really wanted their test results to be accurate and there was more of whatever it picks up in a bigger nail. I'm like, I don't know. Who would ever want to do that to their thumb?
I mean, it's useless.
Yeah.
Yes. Why we have it? I don't know.
Getting into your cast now, you have just like a phenomenal ensemble here. Riz, Jessie, Jeremy, they're some of my favorite working actors today. To get into their processes a little, can you maybe pinpoint something unique about the way each of them work? Something that maybe calls for something different from you as an actor's director?
I don't know if I can say something different, but in general, I will say that, I mean, they were our first choices and they are all, I mean, Jessie, I think that Jessie has the most melancholic smile in the world, and she's bringing that all the time on screen, and I love that so much. And she's a great collaborator. Riz is having something very unique in terms of how much emotion can give with his eyes, I think. And Jeremy is the one-take actor. I mean, he's an actor that from the first take, everything is perfect.
Doesn't surprise me one bit to hear that. So they are kind of your core main ensemble there for the most part, at least. But then you have a significant amount of smaller, so to speak, supporting roles that are very challenging because those actors only get a limited amount of screen time, but they need to be able to convey the fact that there's a significant amount of history that encourage them to take this test. So of all of those smaller roles, which was the most challenging to cast, to find an actor who can convey all that history?
Look, the tricky thing is that we worked only with, for all the other roles, except Luke Wilson, we worked with Canadian actors, which was at the beginning, I was feeling that it would be challenged because I didn't know them. I haven't seen them before, so we did casting. But I believe that they were all so perfect. And they adapted so much in the world, and it was just amazing. I just hope that for some of them, I will see them in more bigger productions right now because they're really talented.
I've got high hopes. It's not easy to do what I was just explaining and also to make such a big impression and reverberate throughout a movie quite like they do with that amount of screen time. I was very impressed.
No, it was, imagine that the agents of the main actors were telling, oh, where did you find them? So I really hope that something good will happen for them.
I love hearing that. I'm going to end with the question I was most eager to ask you, because I was reading that when you were test screening the movie, you asked people to write down their relationship status because you wanted to see how people who were in a relationship versus people who were single responded to the movie. So now I am curious, like, what were the results of that test? What were the differences in how they responded?
I think that they all responded in the same way, even if they were in a relationship or not. So it feels like that. I don't know. I mean, for me, the movie is about how, if we are thinking that we are in a real relationship. So I think that even if you are in a relationship or not, you are looking for something real. So I believe that that worked for all of them.
Well, I'm curious to see the conversations that this movie sparks because I have not been able to stop thinking about it ever since I watched it. Huge congratulations on the movie.
Thank you so much.
To everybody out there, keep an eye out for Fingernails, and we'll see you soon with more from TIFF 2023.